This library makes it easy to integrate emojis with Python programs, but you need to install this library before using it. So it says, make sure you have pip installed in your system. Let's just see if this works as is. If you can copy and paste that code into your command prompt and run it. It says, pip is not recognized. So we'll have to do one more thing to install pip, and then it will work. So let's open one more new tab in the Firefox, and we're going to Google how to install pip and Windows. How to install pip Windows. I'm looking at another page, but that's fine. Let me just see what their options are.
Python needs to be installed correctly.
Python, I believe, is installed correctly, but you can verify that. Let me just see here. Okay, I like this tutorial that says, yeah, I think you have the same exact one. Let me see what it says. It says you need to get that pip file on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, download this file, and then they say to run this other file. Oh, okay. Wait a second.
So is it just that part?
You can actually use that second line. You see where it says curl? That one line of code is enough. Would you mind copying and pasting that code into the chat for us all? In the Google call. Yeah. So by pasting that in to the same folder you've been working in and hitting enter, it should go ahead and safely download the file. All it's doing is downloading. It's not actually.
Did it do it?
I think it just downloaded it. I don't think it ran it. You need to run one more line of code, which is in that file, in that website, on that website, sorry. And that is on the page that you were just looking at. And then it's Python get pip py. So it's this guy here in the same directory. So if you paste that in, right mouse click, yep, and hit enter, it says Python was not found. Run without arguments to install from the, 1 second here. One second here. The error you got was it says it doesn't know what Python is, right?
It says Python was not found, but
yeah,
maybe Python wasn't installed properly.
You think it wasn't, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I installed it. It was working.
Yeah, I do, but
I mean,
but
you
the
ran
like
code.
if I type in like version, it doesn't work. Version Python doesn't work.
That's so weird.
Just having a super fun time. We were listening to music.
Well,
and
we
screaming
must have
lyrics at the
missed
top of
a
our
step.
lungs. With the
Let
door
me
closed, with
see.
the LED lights beaming to the
Because
music.
I'm finding a tutorial to
That's
fix
so
the issue
fun.
I
of
wonder if I
pip
can
not being
continue?
able to install
Yes.
because
Until-
Python
How long do you want?
seems like it's not
Um,
properly installed.
We have another
Oh
hour.
my God.
Love you, hug.
This is why we practice.
You want a fan or something?
But being that this is something that we could do on Replit.com, I'm going to request that, Carrie, you open up Replit.com and we do the same thing there. And that way we can continue proceeding just for today while I'm looking up the resolution. Would you kindly share your screen, Carrie?
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Take your time. And Linnea, do you have any questions, anything you want to share or ask, or?
Nope. I'm following along. I have Python installed, but I just opened Replit because it was a little easier.
Yeah, it is easier. I have in mind an idea that, you know, the internet could go down. This is at school where typically the internet connection was probably going to be stable. But Replit.com can also go down too. Good to have.
Is there another website that's good, like Replit.com?
There are a bunch of other websites that do pretty similar things. If you just search on Google for free Python online, free Python editor online, I'll see if I can find you something good.
Yeah, because I'm familiar with Replit, so my plan will be to use Replit probably, but along with a little bit in the console. Yeah. Okay, I can go to new REPL.
Python, yeah. Create REPL.
And I can zoom in.
And you can also collapse that window on the far left. Yes, please. Thank you. So, I'll ask you, Carrie, to please, on the right-hand side, please do pip. Oh, no. Before you do that, Maeve, would you be so kind and send us the code that you were writing in that text file in the chat, please?
You mean the Unicode?
All of that, yes. All 3 lines if you have them still.
Oh, yeah.
Use the Unicode just as it was in Replit and then it's worked, so I guess it already has that.
Yeah. So it's interesting, right here, see, we can see a dog in the chat. So, Carrie, if you would copy from the comment words. There you go. And so if you run that, we're actually seeing everything already. Is that because...
Yeah. Why is that?
Is it because your browser is doing it for us? Or is it because pip is actually... I'm sorry, not pip. The emoji library is already installed here? I don't know. But getting pip and the emoji library installed will be necessary in order to see them on your local computer. So now you can see here that you can, for one, type emoji on the left-hand side and get them on the right. Write them into your code and get them out on the right-hand side. Let's see if we can assign. Can you zoom in just a little bit more, please? Here we're seeing that at least Replit.com, right out the box, can handle emoji on the left and Unicode codes on the left and get emoji in the terminal window on the right. That is good for me. Is that okay for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. I request one more. Let's make a variable on line 7, let's say. And would you use your Windows period key again, combo, on line 7 to give us any emoji that you like? I encourage an animal, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a food, it could be an animal. And this is, this is good for people exercising their creativity. And you don't, no print necessary, actually. So these look like they're hearts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to request no print
really?
on this line. Yes, really. Just write the heart emojis. And then on the right-hand side of that, I'm going to ask you to do space equal sign and assign to that emoji some sort of either number or string.
Got too many spaces?
I don't know, but let's see what the editor is complaining at us about. Just hold your mouse over those red squiggly lines. Invalid character identity. So it might not like that emoji. Would you mind if we change that emoji? No, it's not the spaces. Would you change that one emoji, please, to be a simple heart, like just a regular standard, non-special, just
Why
a
is it blue? Okay.
Now, is that valid? I think it's just, it might just be that the editor is having a little trouble. Let's keep going with this and see if it does it. It's saying it can't handle this one. Let's, instead of this black heart, would you please
put there for me, would you please put the smiley face? Standard.
Okay, I think
standard.
that's the face.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking for the standard one.
Slightly smiling face.
Grinning face.
I think
That's a
it's
winky.
on the third line, 4 over.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's try that, please.
Okay, it looks like it's still not gonna work. But...
Now, it might be because of the version of Python. It might be because it's Replit.com, but I'm pretty sure you are allowed to have emoji in your Python code today. Like, as variable names.
You need to, like, use the define or something. I don't know.
Let's see. Well, I'm just going to double check that real quick here. Can I use emoji in Python as variable names? Currently, emoji can't be used to define variables or functions in Python. They can, however, be used as strings in lists, dictionaries, and other. Other characters like Greek letters can also be used not only in strings but also as variables. So you could use a Greek letter as a variable name. So if you knew how to type like phi or delta, whatever, those you could use as variable names apparently. So I apologize for leading you astray. There are some things that emoji can't be used for, according to one of the respected authorities in the Python community. It's called Towards Data Science. TowardsDataScience.com says, and I sent the link in the chat. So, now that should work. If you run play, yeah, that works.
Even though
what happens when you hover the mouse over it? Yeah, it's just it's not actually an error. It's just a warning. So if you, yeah.
Oops. That doesn't work.
You actually have to print that out for you to see it here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that works. So you can do some interesting programs with Python using emoji, where emoji appear on the right-hand side. You could do like some sort of game. You could do some sort of like chat bot. You know, what does this inspire? So if you want to write down some ideas that you were inspired to explore or inspired to encourage your learners, your students to explore, I feel like emoji are a fantastic way to encourage people, like with creative constraints, basically, right? Like, this is your palette. What will your Mona Lisa be? I can see Linnea's thinking about her Mona Lisa right now.
Yeah, that's a great example on that site with loops.
Which was the Towards Data Science?
Yeah. They use loops. They're teaching loops and conditions with fruit emojis.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I want to honor everyone's time. I did say, you know, this was going to go till 7:30. Shall we hop on to the next topic? We can also break.
Sure.
We don't have to do all of this today. I'm getting affirmative, please continue, Avi vibes.
Please continue, Avi.
Okay, cool.
Please continue.
Yay. Okay, you don't have to say it out loud, but thank you. Yes, no, I meant it. Thank you. You're a great crowd tonight.
Go, Avi.
All right.
Go, Avi.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm feeding off the energy.
What's the next thing on the list?
The next thing on our list tonight is, let's go with the typewriter effect, because that's relatively simple and fast. Please kindly save this code. Carrie, I encourage you to save this code as a reference. You can copy and paste this out, or you can save this as an online REPL. I encourage you to
Adrian, we are
Yeah,
live
just
and
favored
recording.
it.
You're welcome.
They
You're
go.
welcome. You
That's
can be
fine.
here. Oh, you're getting waves. Jojo, you're getting waves.
Hi, Jojo.
She's
Hey,
ninjing,
Jojo.
I think. They all said hey.
The dog did not run in my code on Replit like yours did. Something, I did something.
Interesting. What's your browser?
Chrome.
So you're running in Chrome. What browser is this that you're running in, Carrie?
This is Microsoft Edge.
Okay. So Edge and Microsoft should have a similar under the hood business, but
Oh, I got it. I fixed it. Never
It's
mind.
working now.
It's working now.
The fact that you guys are both in Replit.com should mean that it should function
Yeah.
the same way, but could you isolate why that didn't work, Linnea? Or
I misread the error.
oh, you're muted.
I misread the error. It was I had other emoji stuff at the bottom. It was erroring on that.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't showing the dog. But when I fixed the other emoji thing, it worked.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, it's good. And you highlighted a typical thing that can trip up cross computer code evaluation, which is it could be a different OS, it could be a different browser, it could be a different particle of dust in the wrong register of the memory. Okay, so we're going to go to the typewriter effect, and for the typewriter effect, let me pull up my handy dandy research. To the research. Dun da da da. The research. Today's research was brought to you by Stack Overflow. When in doubt, copy paste. And I've pasted that link into the meeting chat. And I encourage whomever is willing to jump in there and demo it. All you have to do is copy and paste that code into Replit.com, or you can do it locally on your own computer. This one doesn't require any emoji or special libraries. It does use a library, but it's not a special library that has to be installed. Is anyone feeling brave to share their screen? No pressure. I will do it. Okay, it'll be me this time. So I'm making a new REPL right now.
My Wi-Fi's gone a bit slowly. That's why I stopped sharing. My Wi-Fi's gone slow.
That is totally cool. No worries. Let me get a little more visual real estate by turning off my bookmarks bar. Bookmarks bar. The impartial anxious volume. So I'm just copying and pasting this code from here. This is not the only way to do this. We might not need sys. In fact, we could probably just use print. But let's see if this works as is. Okay, I'm going to press play. And we should see on the screen, this is just a test.
It worked for me.
Okay, I saw the words, this is just a test appear,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it come in like a typewriter effect. Okay.
It's not working for me. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, but
I think it
I'm
might.
just seeing nothing.
I think you'll see nothing until you see the words on Replit.com. Now,
Oh,
Linnea,
there it goes.
did you see it
Long
type?
time.
Did you see the letters appear one by one?
I'm gonna actually look at it for longer because
Actually, it says that
That's
there's an
true.
answer to that question, and it says to add another line that is at the very bottom.
Nice.
So
Good eye. We need one more line, this flush line. Ooh, pretty.
it works.
Yay.
So the I think I was asking us to copy from what wasn't the answer. This was the question. I need to go down to the
okay.
answers. My bad. Now there are other ways you can do it, like they say down here in Python 3, you can replace calls to sys.standardout. That's what SYS stands for system, and STD stands for standard. In other words, we could just write here print and char like that, and that would work too. Ooh, but it's different. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it like that?
Well, print is actually printing it's printing a return carriage line. So if I just do print and then end equals that, I think, then it should do the thing. Yeah, that's the same. So, how did I know that? Someone showed it
How
to
did
me.
you know that, Avi?
I knew somehow, someone at one point in time told me, or I looked it up online, that instead of printing, when you hover the mouse over it, it'll tell you a little information about it. Like, for example, if you see where it says on the fourth line, it says between values default a space. And then it says end, colon, string appended after the last value, default a new line. What they're trying to say here, in very concise wording, is that after it prints, by default, it'll give you a new line. So here I'm saying I want my actual terminating thing after you're done printing is nothing. Give me nothing after you've done. So that way it'll keep printing on the same line. So I can say this guy will print here we go here. Print horizontally, and this is going to be print vertically. So if I just print the char like this, oops, what did I mess up here? Oh, the spacing is off. Grr. So I think spaces and tabs are getting mixed in iCode. That's something to watch out for in Python code, unfortunately. I'm just making sure that it's all spaces only. That's what you get when you copy and paste code too. Sometimes it mixes spaces and tabs, and that is unfortunately something that can wreck your code.
That
Now it
sounds
works
like
again.
very, very fragile.
Well, what happens is pros, they know to look for this, and amateurs, people who are not doing this professionally, well, hopefully they catch on too. When you're teaching this, typically you'd want it to be in an editor so you can clearly see where are spaces and where are tabs, but I think that's unfortunately just the way it is with Python, and that's, for me, it doesn't make me love Python more, that you can have these invisible, literally invisible errors.
The orange character at the bottom, is that a replit thing, or what is that?
That is saying, I don't think it's unique to Replit, but basically this is like a little caret. It's basically saying, like the greater than symbol, basically saying, we're ready for more input, or ready for you to run another program.
Oh, I see. It was just orange. I was like, what's happening there?
Yeah, it's just pretty in here. So this code here, you can use it as is, but it's not super useful, in my opinion, to have this brittle code here. So I'm actually going to rewrite this code to be a function. We're kind of tight on time. Do you guys mind if I demo this really quick?
I don't
No?
mind.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So in order to make this a function, I'm going to say, and there might be a way to do it without system, by the way, but for now we'll just say with system is fine. Call it def, we'll make a new function. We'll call it type this. And I'm just putting an underscore in there because I feel like it, but you might want to use a dash or, I don't know if a dash is good. Camel case, kebab case, whatever kind of casing. There's a preference in the Python community, but it doesn't matter for this moment. And I'm going to say sentences, words, whatever, text. Some text, I'll call it. And then in here, I'll basically copy this code in here and paste it inside. And the sleep, I'll change it to be just a shorter value so you can see a little faster. And in this case, I want to print horizontally only, so I'll get rid of the vertical code. And that should be enough. But this time, instead of for char in words, I want for char in some text to make it the same name as the this what's called the parameter or argument in this case. In this case, we could call it a parameter. I'm going to call it a parameter here. Okay, now we have a function up above. I can run this code to see if it still runs. If it runs without error, then I'm going to actually let's do the horizontal one and a little faster. If this runs, then I have no errors in my code. But it looks like it won't because I'm missing some indentation issues. I'm having some indentation issues, so I'm just gonna try to, again, rematch up the indentation with spaces. There we go. And now I was printing something, but it was invisible because I didn't change one moment, please. For char in words, this. Oh, so I didn't.
No, does it need to be words instead of some text? So you have words equals.
No, words is fine.
Well, but
But what is some
for
text?
character in some text, or is it for character in words?
We don't have
Well-
some text equal to anything.
Some text is the
So I think
parameter.
it for character in words, right? For the line below that.
So I'm just going to comment on this code real quick so you can see what I'm seeing here. When I run this code, I want to see that it cleared what was beforehand, but we never actually programmed that into our code. So I'm going to do a clear here at the beginning of the program. Will that work? I'm not sure, but we'll find out in just a moment. Python clear console. I could just refresh the WEPA window, but I would like to do this programmatically if I can. I'm going to refresh the page here real quick. Apologies. And sorry for the silent editing there. It might have been a little mysterious what I was trying to do. But basically, either my Python console window got a little messed up,
maybe, or I messed up with my code. I'm just trying to figure out if I could have added some code that would make it clear what had changed, if anything had changed. Okay, the code that I have in here, the only code that's running is the code that prints this is a test horizontally. Now, if I uncomment out this code down below, nothing different should happen because I never call this function. I never use the function type this. I just make it. So if I run this code once again, the same thing will happen. Nothing different will happen. Now, on line 20, I'm going to invoke or call use. Way to say it. Invoke, call, or use. They're all the same way of saying the same thing. Basically, I'm going to say, I'm ready to use this, type this function. And I'm going to type it, Linnea, thank you for your wonderful. And I'm going to put an emoji in there because why not?
Yay, emojis.
Sun face. Okay, now, while I did that, it looks like this function, when I put an emoji in the string text, it's a little bit let's see if we can handle it. And I run the code. Let's see. It is running. You know, there's a little error in here saying it's having trouble. And it's still printing on one line, which is okay, but then it word wraps. And it did put the sun emoji for me at the very end. So probably what I would do is right here is I just do a print with an empty nothing, not give it anything. And that will type now, this is just a test. That's my code up above. And then it will print an empty new line. And then it will say my message with the type this function. Thank you for your wonderful company. Sun face. So the code inside of the type this function and the code up above isn't very different. They're very similar. Let me see if I can get this full screen so you can just compare them at the same time. Because I want you guys to see that a function should live, depends on how you write your functions, but it should stand alone. You should be able to write it without knowing anything about outside of the function. So up above, we were saying for char in words, right? Because words is a string that already lives in our program, right? On line 4, we say, hey, program, I'm going to give you a variable. It's going to be called words. And the words are going to be, this is just a test.
So the words is equal to that string. This is just a test.
You could say it's equal to that, but what we're really doing with this line of code is we're saying, I'm going to take this text and I'm going to save it in this box called words. On the left-hand side, you have a box. And we save the text or the numbers or the information on the right. We save it to the left.
Because I guess if you were to go like below that and say words equals hello, as hello a string, then it would just be whatever one's the most recent.
If we reassigned.
Yeah, if you reassign it, it's whichever one's on the bottom that it would go. Whichever.
So I'm going to assign to words. What we're going to say was an emoji.
Hello.
It's hello. So again, I'm never going to say words equals hello, because that would be
just one word, like hello you.
Well, this isn't equals. This is assignment. If we
yes,
do
you're
equals,
assigning it to the string hello.
This here I would say is equality, and we're comparing. But this is like true or false on line 6 here. So this is a comparison, whereas this is assignment. And you don't have to call it comparison or assignment. You could say like on line 6, line 6 is a check. It's a question. It's a yes/no question. They don't have to use the word comparison, though they're seniors in high school, probably can handle words like comparison and assignment, but to make it really plain, really simple, we're saving on line 5. We're saving on line 4. Anyways, let me play this and you'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be just hello.
Exactly. So that's because words is a variable and can change many times throughout this program. Any questions about any of this code? Any line? What's going on line 9? Do you know what line 9 is, Maeve?
It's a comment.
It is a comment. So, like, you know, telling your learners, sharing with your learners that you can, you know, write more code, or you can write human readable stuff in comments. That's, of course, critically helpful.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I made my own comment and I used the teacher emoji, and then in the program it defaulted to the man and the school emoji.
Yes. Yes. So many of the newer emoji, they if your current system, your browser or the program can't support it, they're back compatible.
It's interesting.
They revert to like chef might be person and frying pan. You can try it. Try typing chef. See what happens.
Oh, right.
I'm
wondering a little if you could comment a little bit about.
Maeve, thank you for coming.
Yes.
You are
And the-
lovely
Yeah.
and awesome. Enjoy dinner.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
I didn't realize that was Maeve until you said her name just then.
Oh yeah. So maybe I might connect you guys later. That would be really nice, because I really want you to pick Maeve's brain for wisdoms.
Yeah. I was wondering if, Avi, you wouldn't mind commenting a little bit more about the assignment in comparison with the function type this.
Yes.
And now,
yes,
and I get the
absolutely.
general, you know, like, okay, type this function, whatever's in there. But kind of doing the same thing when you map that assignment, and then it just like carries out through. So I'm guessing that's more repetitive. You want it to carry through the code versus if you just want to type one line as an instruction sort of thing or something.
Right.
But I need
So
more. Tell me
this
other
is-
things.
Assignment can also be called state. Like, so it's like change in our program. What do you know? Like, what is the information you're storing? We call that the state. State of your program, the state of an object. So in other words, like, let's say you have a pet turtle and your pet's turtle's name is Jimmy. I'm just gonna put down here, for example, we got a turtle, and we're gonna say it's we're gonna say that this is the dictionary, for example, right? And we're gonna say its name is Timmy. Sorry. I'm sorry, Timmy. So its name is Timmy, and let's say its age is 3. I don't know if that's old or young, but so this is a turtle that we saved as a dictionary, a Python dictionary. This is what in Clojure would be called a hash map. In JavaScript, this would be called an object. In Python, this is called this is a Python dictionary which saves key value pairs. I'm so sorry I used a new kind of data type here to show you this, but I think this is will make it clear. So I can actually change Timmy. I can rename Timmy. I can change Timmy's name. But on line 30, Timmy's name is Timmy, and his age is 3. So, like, for example, if I print here turtle, age, it should say, Timmy is, and then years old. And I'm just gonna comment out the type this functions real quick, so that way it doesn't do those things.
And what was the shortcut you used to comment out an entire block of code?
Control /.
Okay.
So it's the question mark, but I use control and then that, and then it comments out a whole block. It toggles the comment on a block. So I will write that out. Control /. To toggle multiple lines of code, to toggle.
Also, it gave us the 5-minute warning, like a minute or two ago.
You got it. I'm going to run this code and see that it does indeed. Oops, I needed a comma there. That should work, but we'll see. It might be that my REPL is a little tired and I need to refresh the page. This is another thing that is not ideal. Yeah, I'm going to refresh the page. If you're working from your local machine,
You don't
Carrie,
have
you
to
won't be.
refresh. I guess you just have to save multiple times. That's annoying.
Well, it auto saves, but just in case, you never know if
Yeah.
the internet connection, pooped. So it's good to copy and paste and save.
Well, I mean, like from your computer anyway, you have to save. But
That's true too. Yeah, that is true. In this case, the comma did not get saved, but if I put it back and now I run it, I realize I needed a plus sign here. If I run that, that should work.
well, it's
Nope.
it's
I need to convert to a string
yeah.
the age. And that happened pretty fast, but just to
Yeah.
reiterate what I'm doing here, I'm getting Timmy's age from this variable. So what I wanted to express here was that on line 31, Timmy is age of 3. And on line 36, 37, 38, he's still 3. But now on line 40, I can change the turtle's age. I can set it to be 4. This is called mutable state. Python supports mutable, which means changeable, state, which means we can change the values we save into variables. So if I do another print statement down below, the same exact print statement, it's the same exact code. The 2 lines, one says Timmy's 3 and one says Timmy's 4. That's because we changed his age on line 43. Now we could actually do more like quote unquote organically. Could say like his age equals the current age plus 1, like that. That would make him always age by 1 year. But I could also age him by 5 years. And if I run that, it should make him 8 on the second line. So I could have done that without a dictionary, but I wanted to create a more interesting story. So I hope that wasn't like overwhelming with me using a dictionary instead. It was 2 pieces of information. A name